This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Audible. Do you like reading?
Not really.
Neither does anybody else. Reading does make you smarter, though,
Really?
according to unconfirmed scientific claims. You know what else makes you smarter?
What?
Listening to books. It's like reading, but you don't have to try.
It's like reading, but with your ears.
So when I want to read without trying, aka audiobooks, I go to audible.com. They have over 100,000 different books to select from, and you can listen to them whenever, wherever you want. You can download them to your phone. You can listen to them on your car, on your way to work, while you're at work, while you're sitting at home doing the dishes, when you're bored and you just really want to fall asleep.
You could listen to an audiobook while you're reading a book.
That'd be really confusing. I don't know why you would do that. That's kind of a stupid thing to do. But you can do it. And with the Stream of Consciousness promo code, you can save up to 15% on your first monthly subscription to Audible. Get smarter without having to try Audible.
This podcast is also brought to you by the Cash App. The Cash App is the #1 app in finance on both the Google Play Store and on the App Store.
You man, bro. Ooh, no.
Do you want to save money?
Yes.
Do you want to save $1 on every single cup of coffee you get?
I want to save $50.
You can't do that. You get to save $1. That's $365 if you buy a cup of coffee a day. If you buy a cup of coffee a day, stop buying coffee, get a coffee maker. It's a good investment. Anyway, the Cash App is a better investment. It's free. Free. All you have
That's
to
$0.00, folks.
link your bank account to the Cash App. It's safe and secure, and you get access to hundreds, if not billions, of boosts. Now, boosts are like your save 3% on gas and groceries with a Discover card, except you choose the boost. You can change the boost out every month. You can save 10% on gas.
Can I change my boost every second?
No. You can't.
Oh, man. Cash App sucks, bro.
Cash App is the best finance app on the Google Play Store and on the App Store. So if you're trying to save money, download the Cash App. Use promo code STREAM6 if you want to save money. But
There's more.
also, if you use a code STREAM6 at the Cash App, they will donate $5,000 to a charity of your choice, whether it's the ASPCA, the Fight for the Forgotten Pygmies, the other ones, the Red Cross, the
Stream of Consciousness
podcast charity.
Accepting donations now. We need a new stream.
Whatever you want to donate to, the Cash App will donate $5 billion to them. Free.
Get 99% off everything with the Cash App.
That's facts.
We're also brought to you by the greatest fast food restaurant in all of the world. Do I even need to say its name? I'm going to say it anyways. It's
Burger King.
wrong. Burger King sucks.
Dairy Queen.
Also wrong. Dairy Queen only has good ice cream, and that's mediocre.
Wendy's.
You suck. It's Taco Bell. Let's be real. Taco Bell is the only restaurant in the world where you can get 50 million calories worth of food for under $10. It might not be real food, but it tastes good, and it fills you up, and it's going to come out real quick. You don't have to have a fast metabolism to digest this stuff. Now, I'm a frequent eater at Taco Bell. They recently have a new deal called the Triple Double Crunch Wrap. It is so delicious. It is so good. You should go out and get it. And with our special promo code, now listen very closely. With our special promo code, Jerry Spencer 99991090982 99999999091900 Jerry O Spencer O 9901. With a purchase of $50 or more at Taco Bell, you can get, listen to this, folks, 10% off the purchase of a hard shell taco.
10%?
10%.
Oh my God.
That's almost 100%.
That's like double 5%.
That's like 100 times 0.01%. Go to Taco Bell. Save money off your $50 purchase. Get a hard shell taco for closer to free than it originally was.
Live Moss.
Live Moss.
And last but not least, this podcast is also brought to you in part by Shelly Cove. Do you want to look like everybody else?
Yes.
Do you want to have the most basic outfits possible?
Of course.
Do you want to be an Instagram influencer?
We're ambassadors. Yes.
Go to shellycove.com right now and shop. They have t-shirts. They have other things, I'm sure. I haven't looked very far. But at shellycove.com, if you use the code BASICCLOTHING1, you can save 15% at checkout and get free shipping. But not only that, Shelly Cove, with any purchase over $100, will personally shove a plastic straw into a turtle's nostril and leave it there.
That's fascinating, bro. You can tell this is a very environmentally conscious company. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what this is. I have 102 followers on my Instagram page, and they asked me to be an ambassador. So, of course, we agreed because we could take all the sponsors we get. We're sellouts here on the Stream of Consciousness podcast. There's a reason why we bought this fancy new mic that we'll explain later. And also, if you type the promo code BASIC1 into the shellycove.com website, they will get 15 bots to follow your Instagram account.
That's 15 more quote-unquote people
that
you get to influence.
Who doesn't need more validation in their lives, am I right? Shelly Cove, check it out. Become an ambassador. It's great. Time to get into the podcast. We're back. It's been a long wait. I didn't see it coming, to be honest. I know you guys didn't see it coming. But we're back with a podcast. Spur of the moment. We were at Taco Bell, having the big eats, having a hoot, having a holler. I was eating my 10% off hard shell taco after spending $50, and I was just thinking, hey, if we're getting promo codes for our podcast, we might as well do another episode.
Yeah.
And so we really decided to step it up for what I officially like to call Season 2 of the podcast.
Yes, sir.
So we brought this brand new 4K audio, 8D, 160,000K, $800.50 microphone. It took us a long time to find this microphone, to be honest.
It did. We had to go to numerous stores.
First, we went to Target.
Mm-hmm. Target.
They didn't have it.
They didn't.
We went to Target because, Target's like the more upper class store,
Yeah.
Like, it's like a department store. They have everything you could possibly want, but it's a little bit trendier. It's a little bit more mainstream,
It's where the what are they called? Keep going. I'll think of it.
They got good stuff. So basically, we're looking around at Target. We can't find any microphones. We asked this guy. Shout out to my man Josh.
His name was Luke.
Shout out to my man Luke. He knew right where the microphones were. He's like, don't worry, guys. I got you. He pulls us over to the microphones. We got 2 Hello Kitty karaoke microphones. That was our options. Boycott Target. Smash the like button if you hate Target. I hate Target.
I hate Target.
It was stupid, dude. I knew that a Hello Kitty microphone was not good enough for our viewers. So we traveled across the globe to find the perfect microphone.
We went to a long trek. We went through a lot for you guys. We crossed numerous roads. We went to several stoplights.
It was probably...
And after our trek of a whole 15 minutes, we made it to our destination.
The Wall of Marts.
Yes, Walmart.
Now, Walmart was kind of a last resort. We were pretty much going to give up, just go home, record a mediocre podcast on Spencer's phone.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided to give Walmart a try, because why not? And lo and behold, they have this beautiful microphone here. It's the blue Snowball Ice Skype certified plug-and-play USB microphone. Let's read the nutrition facts.
This is the best $800 we have spent as a company.
It has 64 megabytes of RAM or better. It comes with Windows 7, 8, and 10. It has Mac OS on it. It's pretty good. And it only cost under $1,000. So we're ready to go with this new mic. We got the pop filter on it. We're ready to go. We were thinking about dropping a mixtape that'll probably be coming at a later date, but we're ready to go on season 2. We got merch dropping.
Yes, we do.
Smash the like button if you want free t-shirts. Not free with a price of I don't know yet.
So pretty much what we're doing with the t-shirts is we're doing this for you guys. We're not trying to make any money off of this. We are giving you like what we're paying for them. We just don't want to go broke giving out free t-shirts.
Factual.
So the more people we get to buy t-shirts, the cheaper they are. So spread the word. Get your Stream of Consciousness t-shirts now.
We will also be coming out to iTunes. I know it's kind of a grind. We probably have a lot more viewers if you don't have to pull up YouTube to listen to our podcast, because I know you guys are busy. You guys are trying to play Flappy Bird and Crossy Bird and Twisty Road and all of your games. You're trying to enjoy all the new likes from your robot followers from Shelly Cove, and you can't really do that while you're listening to a podcast on YouTube. So we are talking with the executive managers. We're talking with Steve Jobs hologram about getting on iTunes for our podcast. It's going to be verified. It's going to be official. We're going to be bringing in ad revenue. We're probably going to be getting sued by all the companies that we said we sponsored because
they don't actually sponsor us.
We weren't supposed to say that, but that saved us from a lawsuit. So we are going to be officially
They're
a
purely
real life,
satirical ads.
We're going to be a real life podcast. We're going to try and get on iTunes. We're going to try and get on Spotify for you people that don't have iPhones. We're coming out to the real world. So smash that like button. It really helps us out. YouTube's kind of, I don't know, they kind of haven't been paying us very much on the ad revenue, hence why we have the sponsors. So we're gonna need as many like button smashes as we can get.
And especially since the YouTube adpocalypse is going on, conspiracy videos are now being taken down and demonetized. So, this is our livelihood at stake, and you know how we are with conspiracy theories. They're near and dear to our hearts. So we have to get on different platforms and hopefully get some sponsors from that.
Possible website coming out soon. I don't know. I can't guarantee, but just stay tuned. We'll keep you going with updates. So, what do we want to talk about first?
Kanye West.
I'm really hyped.
The only man in history.
Out of all the rappers in the 2000s, Kanye West is one of them.
Yeah.
And he's coming out with a new album. Love him or hate him, he makes music. And that music...
That is a fact.
That music, in your opinion, could be good or bad. And he's coming out with a new album. It could be good. It could be bad. It's called Yandhi. It's like Gandhi.
But with a Y.
But instead of freeing the Indian people, it's doing something more important.
He's freeing your earbuds from the slave sounds of popular music.
Yandhi is about to be the greatest album of all time. Kanye West is a madman. He is a legend.
He is a mad genius.
Some people would even consider him a musician. I don't know if you're one of those people, but his album's going to be good. It was supposed to come out almost a year ago to this day. Almost a year ago.
September last year.
But it's been delayed so many times. I don't even know if it's a real thing anymore. You could just be making up the entire thing.
I think it's just a fever dream.
Kanye's been having some mental health issues, which only furthers his musical greatness, in my opinion. His music is going to ascend space and time. The reason it doesn't exist is because he went to the future and dropped it, and it was so good that it created a nuclear holocaust and everybody died. So we had to go back in time and stop Yandhi from happening because it's just so captivating.
I don't have a comment to that.
Is Kanye West better than Gandhi?
He's better than John Lennon, that's for sure.
True.
I don't like John Lennon.
He walks weird.
He does. Have you guys seen... You see, this is why we need an actual webcam so I can, Jamie, pull that up, that type of thing.
We'll make the background of our podcast that picture of John Lennon walking. Why?
Because I don't know how to do that. But anyway, so it's this picture, and he's wearing a cowboy hat, and he is walking in the most flamboyant fashion possible with his wife, Yoko Ono,
so
at his hip.
Try and spread your knees apart as far as you can, and then pull them out another 75 degrees. His knees were pretty much behind his back as he's walking. He has a cowboy hat. He's rootin' tootin', cowboy shooting. And honestly, that's pretty cringe.
Yeah. Honestly, I hate to say it, But I'm glad he got shot for walking like that.
I don't know if I would say that, but I will say that he is a musician.
Some consider him to be a musician. That is true.
And he ruined the Beatles forever.
He did.
Him and Yoko Ono.
They're the reason
Anti-shout out Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
You broke up the Beatles, and
facts.
your singing voice isn't very good.
Have you seen her, like, abstract, screamy music that she makes?
No, I've never heard it.
So, have you heard of Danger music?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where they just scream into
Yeah.
a microphone, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So it's like that, except she goes to, like, art galleries, and she'll stand there, and this big crowd will gather, because it's like, oh, it's Yoko Ono. And then she just gets on the mic, and she's like,
Oh, yeah, and she starts, like, I think I've heard that. She starts, like, crying in the middle
Yeah.
of it. It's really weird, and people just pay her money to like, go up and scream.
yeah, or
You-
to leave.
You think she's actually, like, thinking it through, or does she just, like, go up and just
I feel like
make
she
up
just
the entire thing?
freestyles.
Really?
Yeah.
That is not inspiring.
I mean, can you even script yelling?
I don't know, but their Christmas song is pretty bad. They have a Christmas...
They have a Christmas
Yeah,
song?
John Lennon and Yoko Ono have a Christmas song. John Lennon's part's pretty good, but then Yoko Ono starts singing, and she sounds like a dying hyena. Like, literally, it makes me like, if I actually got coal in my stocking for Christmas a year, that's what it would sound like that image. It's like it just makes me want it to be summer. It's the worst Christmas song I've ever heard in my life. She's so tone deaf.
Yeah, I don't know how she married a Beatle.
John Lennon beat his son.
He did. He was a terrible dad.
To his one son, Julian.
Yeah. Like, Julian, didn't he write his dad a letter? Or something like that. And I don't know how the story goes, but pretty much John, like, wouldn't give Julian back whatever it was. Or no, it was Yoko. It was the last letter that John wrote to Julian. And he didn't mail it because he got shot between then.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoko Ono would not give it to Julian. And he had
Really?
to, like, take her to court to get this letter back.
That's kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Shows what love can do, bro.
Shows you what fame can do.
Facts, dude.
I mean, we were talking about Kanye's mental health issues, and I think that's come a lot from his fame and his stardom
dude.
and being in the spotlight.
Once you get into the spotlight, it just kind of gets weird, you know? Because, like, we don't really think about it, but, like, imagine you do one awkward thing in public. Like, you just happen to pick your nose. I don't know, you just have, like, a really stuffy nose, you just pick your nose. Someone takes a picture of that, and then on the front page of the news the next day, dude picks his nose.
Yeah.
It's kind of awkward.
It is kind of awkward.
I don't know if I'd want that stress. Also, John Lennon took unquantifiable amounts of drugs for a very long time.
Yeah. It's
Kind
bad
of
for your mental health.
kind of made him a goofball a little bit.
Don't do drugs. It's bad for you. Unless you're prescribed by a doctor. But even then, you should be wary of their side effects.
The doctors are poisoning the youth.
Elaborate.
Oh, geez, here we go. Okay.
Conspiracy theories start now.
Conspiracy theory. This is my opinion. Take it with a eeny weeny, teeny meeny leeny, seeny weeny grain of salt.
Yes.
Why are kids being prescribed so many powerful medications at such a young age?
I don't know.
Like, you see those on the commercials, you know? It's like you have depression, take this medication. Side effects are suicide, depression, stomach cramps, explosive diarrhea,
Stummy hurt.
vomiting and diarrhea at the same time, pooping your pants in public,
Peeing
AIDS.
your pants in public.
If AIDS is one of your symptoms of your antidepressant medications, as well as more depressive symptoms and suicidal thoughts, it's probably not a good thing to be taking all the time.
Yeah.
Especially not to someone who's young. Like, you tell kids to, I don't know, what's something you tell kids, like, to not watch too much TV because it'll influence your brain and it'll rot your brain. But then you're giving kids these drugs that completely change your brain chemistry from, like, as young of an age as kindergarten sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you see with people that have, like, ADHD or ADD, they get prescribed like Adderall or Vyvanse or something along, like Ritalin is usually what they start with. And that like permanently messes with your brain chemistry so that you can't like focus without it.
And I'm not saying that ADHD isn't a real diagnosable illness. It probably is, but I don't think every kid that gets diagnosed with ADHD actually has it. Like, like young boys are hyper. They're not meant to sit in a classroom for 7 hours a day. They're meant to be running around, having a hoot and a holler, catching fish and playing sports and burning bugs and just doing weird boy stuff.
Doing the magnifying glass thing.
Yeah, just like running around and being active. So when you keep them pent up in a classroom all day, and when you shorten their attention span by sticking them in front of a tablet and giving them constant instant gratification, of course they're going to be hyper. Of course they're going to have no attention span. And the parents, I think, instead of dealing with the problem, rush to the doctor, and the doctor gives them a false diagnosis just to satisfy the parents, and then it zombifies the kids, and it solves the problem, but it does so much damage to the kids. And this is correlation, not causation. But I think the majority of the recent shooters, like all the mass shooters, have been on some form of antipsychotic medication or some form of medication, which I don't know.
SSRI or something along those lines.
I don't know if they had a mental illness that made them shoot up wherever before that, or if the medication caused that. I just think it's an interesting problem, and I think we have a serious mental health issue in our country, especially throughout the world, but especially in our country. I don't know why it's so bad in our country.
I would agree with that. I mean, we've always had guns in our country since the founding. I mean, it's the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and we've only recently had these issues. I mean, it started with Virginia Tech and then Columbine, and then it's just kind of increased exponentially.
There's been a huge spike recently.
And I think that has to do with how much we're prescribing these mind-altering drugs to fix problems that otherwise would have been treated with, not so invasive methods back in the day.
I agree. That's actually a good point. One thing that's interesting about the United States is I think they're one of the only countries in the world that are allowed to display pharmaceutical ads on TV. Like, normally you aren't supposed to know about that. You aren't supposed to have commercials that are trying to get you to do something and get you to go on a drug. You're supposed to go into the doctor and
doctor picks it
try everything first before. But the problem is, so many doctors are getting their bankroll paid by the super rich pharmaceutical companies, and the way a lot of doctors' offices work is, hey, you're going to get a lot of funding from us if you prescribe this many pills in a year, and that's how they get the majority of their funding. So when anyone has any problems, they're quick to prescribe pills. That's part of the reason why they were in such a huge opioid epidemic, because the big pharmaceutical companies would just, and this isn't even a conspiracy theory, it's just pretty much facts at this point. Like the producers of OxyContin or whatever would pretty much just tell doctors that they were going to pay them and pretty much bribe them to prescribe it. They didn't tell them about the negative side effects, and the next thing you know, everybody's addicted and shooting up heroin, It's just kind of sad.
It is. I think, a step to fix that, is obviously remove the pharmaceutical ads on TV, because you shouldn't be the one that's picking out your drugs that you have to take.
Yeah,
for your illness.
Your
doctor does. Because your doctor is the one that went to med school. Your doctor is the one that has qualifications to prescribe whatever you need, and they know the proper steps to treat your ailment or whatever. And I think we need to use prescription medicine as a last resort almost. We need to use more, call me crazy, natural methods. Not like the essential oils crap, but stuff that's actually working.
I don't know. I think in general, this isn't even just with mental health or with physical health or anything. People just always want a quick fix for everything, A quick fix, whether you're scrolling through your phone, you get that quick fix of dopamine, or you go to the fast food restaurant, you want your food within seconds. If you don't get your food within a couple minutes, you're mad. People need to slow down a little bit,
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be instant gratification. Like if you have a problem in your life, you should maybe stop and try and work it out a little bit before you try and find a crutch to try and help you get through it. You should be able to work things through yourself and think critically about things before you rely on something else to do the job for you.
Exactly.
And obviously, there's people who have serious chemical imbalances for
Mhm.
whatever reason. Who knows why? Maybe they're not healthy. Maybe they have a poor diet or exercise, or maybe they're just born that way. And then antidepressant medications can actually help, and that's good.
Those are the circumstances where you would use the prescription
Mhm.
drugs, but you need to exhaust all other options first. That should be the last resort.
I totally agree. And if a family member dies and you're feeling down in the dumps and like it's been longer than the normal like grieving period and you're
Mhm.
still feeling bad, maybe you should try and work like what trauma do you have? Like why are you
Mhm.
upset instead
You
of
should talk to,
Mhm.
a therapist or
Instead
something
of-
instead
instead
of turning directly to a doctor to get your Xanax or whatever.
yeah, be like, oh well, feeling bad sucks. I want to make this stop ASAP,
Mhm.
and then you end up doing
You do
you
more
end up
damage
messing
to
yeah you end up
yourself.
messing up with your brain chemistry.
Well, and I remember reading an article. This isn't really about depression or any of that, but it's about ADHD and ADD. And I read that boys that were born by C-section often have like less diverse gut biomes than those like that are naturally born,
yeah, I heard about that.
and that less diverse gut biome actually can like lead to ADD and ADHD later in life, and that if you were to prescribe or like give them a probiotic, have them eat more yogurt, have them
Mm-hmm.
drink kombucha, I'm going to sound like a hippie, but it actually can help your ADD. It won't, it might not necessarily cure it, but it can definitely help the symptoms and lessen like the short attention span, the hyperactivity, that sort of thing.
I agree, and I'm not entirely for sure if this statistic is right, but it's something like this. Like, obviously, you think the majority of like your nerves are in your brain, but people actually call your gut your second brain. And I think almost like 90% of neurons are in your gut,
Wow.
and it's really. I'm not entirely for sure if that's true. I'll have to look up the statistics later, but it's really interesting how your diet and how healthy you are and your gut bacteria can influence your health.
Mm-hmm. And that's, that kind of goes in with, having a healthy diet, like you said, but
Mhm.
all of the refined sugars and the carbohydrates that we eat that are just like sugar, they put that in everything now. Like, I went to a camp in West Virginia, and it was like an international camp, so there were people there from like all over the world. And I was talking with some people that were from the United Kingdom, and they said that the cereal that we eat in the United States has so much sugar in it that they have to put it in the candy aisle.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they can't put it with their normal cereal. That's how much
crazy.
sugar we add into all of our stuff. And it's not just cereal. We put sugar in everything.
All these things that you like wouldn't think sugar would be in, sugar's in. Like ketchup, sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's
Like pretty much any processed food
there's
there's
gonna have
added
corn.
sugar.
Yeah, it's gonna have corn syrup in
Yep.
it.
It's ridiculous how much we rely on that.
And I saw another statistic. I don't know how true this is, but they did like a study in like lab rats or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they found sugar to be more addictive than cocaine. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, sugar's probably not going to be as harmful as cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Well,
in the short term, maybe not.
well, if you were consuming the same amount of cocaine as you were sugar, you would probably die from cocaine way before.
Yes.
But it's a lot easier to access sugar, obviously, and you're
Mm-hmm.
consuming a lot more of it. And if it's more addictive, that just shows you how powerful sugar is. I know that when you're born as a baby, sugar is the only food that you crave until you like acquire taste for like different foods that you like. You always crave sugar.
That's because your gut hasn't like matured fully to like
Mhm.
digest more complex things other than simple sugars and carbohydrates and stuff like that.
But it's a sneaky way that the food companies try
Mhm.
and get you to keep coming back to their product because
Yeah.
you don't even realize it, but it's got sugar in it that's hitting your dopamine receptors and making you
Mhm.
feel good. So you're going to come back for more of it, and it's just not healthy, especially with the lack of exercise we get now. Like the more and more we technologically progress, the less and less you have to like go out and do things yourself. Like we're to the point where you don't even have to drive a car by yourself. Like
Yeah, you can have the car drive it.
you could
for
you could just lay in bed and never leave your house if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Like if you
'cause
were
Amazon delivers groceries now. If you live in a like decently populated area, you can just have everything delivered to your door. You can work from home.
Yeah.
Like, you literally don't have to leave your house
You could
anymore.
literally never talk to another person, and there wouldn't even be a problem. And I think that's a bad thing.
That is a really bad thing.
More and more societies become divided into different groups. Whether that's I'm not saying one group's right or one group's wrong, but it's just right and left and this and that and like rich and poor, and nobody can really like come together and have a conversation. I think nowadays everyone's like, you think social media would bring people together, but instead they kind of like they get with other people they agree with, and they just like create so many thought loops, and they like so much like it's like a feedback loop, you know. And so then you can't really break out of that and have discussions with everyone else, because like back in the day you were friends with your neighbors. It doesn't matter if you didn't agree with them politically. It doesn't matter if one of you was like an atheist and one of you was a Christian, and like you guys went to separate churches. You know, you still got together and had like neighborhood barbecues, and the neighborhood kids would still play together. But nowadays, like, neighbors don't hang out with each other. People don't really interact with each other like they used to. Nowadays, everything's so technological that like you don't have to talk to people that you don't agree with ever.
Yeah, and that's so bad, because if you're stuck in that constant feedback loop of, you know, your idea is right, my idea is right, you know, you just keep going in that loop. You don't get introduced to any other contrary points of view. So when those points of view do come up, you get hostile, because they seem like the enemy, because all of your friends think the same thing that you do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I really don't get why politics or religion or spirituality or anything like that is like a really like a taboo thing that you're not supposed to talk about with people. Like, obviously you're not supposed to attack other people's ideas, but why shouldn't you be able to have conversations? Isn't that how things get done? Like, you're not going to be able to get anything done if it's just 50% of people say this and 50% of people say that, and they're not going to budge, and they're not going to talk to each other. Nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever gets accomplished. New ideas only come through discussion. So that's part of the reason why we like to do podcasts. Me and Spencer have different opinions. Our guests will have different opinions than us. We'll talk about a lot of different things. Some of them controversial, some of them not. But it's okay to talk, you know. Yeah. That's why we take a lot of inspiration from the Joe Rogan podcast, because like that dude, he'll interview Ben Shapiro, then he'll interview Bernie Sanders. You know, he doesn't care. He just likes to have discussions with people. He likes to. It's weird that an ex-MMA fighter comedian
could become like such an influential person.
Is like the leader of free speech in today's society. That's just kind of weird to think about. And it's kind of sad, honestly. You think it should be like our politicians, you know, like our world leaders,
or our media people, like
the
news, stuff like that.
But it's always, oh well, if you're left wing, you'll watch MSNBC, and if you're right wing, you'll watch Fox, and then Fox will say MSNBC is lies, and then MSNBC will say Fox is lies, and nothing ever gets done. It's like, oh, well, I'm a liberal, so I'm going to watch the stuff that agrees with what I say, and I'm a Republican, so I'm going to watch the stuff that agrees with what I say. Like, you should be able to have conversations with other people and figure out different ideas, you know?
Exactly.
I think freedom of speech is definitely in danger.
I would agree, yeah. How long do you want to make this? I know we could go
We could go for a long time. We got into the conspiracy theories. We said we weren't going to on the first episode. It wasn't really that conspiracy theory though. It was pretty tame.
Yeah, it was pretty tame compared to some of the stuff.
Compared to how it could be. This seems like a good place to wrap it up. We don't want to keep the first one too long. Just kind of like a welcome back kind of thing. Yeah. So thank you for tuning in.
There's more coming soon.
If you liked it, subscribe. Our links to our deals will be in the description. We will keep you updated on when we'll be coming to iTunes and other media outlets. Thank you and good night.